Greetings everybody and welcome back to the Bond Geek channel with me, your host, the name Stevens, Henry Stevens. Everybody, how'd you do? I hope you're well. Hope enjoying a good Bond film, a good Bond book, good Bond video game, a good James Bond whatever makes you part of this glorious fandom, everybody, that is the James Bond community. And on that note, let's discuss what's considered one of the lowest points in the franchise, which is Die Another Day. Now, for a lot of people, this is in the, definitely bottom top 5 of the worst James Bond films of all time. You know, it's got everything. It's got kite surfing, a tsunami, the bad guys in a Robocop suit, techno editing, weird music. You know, it's even got, weird over-the-top plastic surgery, and to top it all off, an invisible cutter. It's fair to say a lot of people would agree this well that Die Another Day jumped the shark, but I would like to point out, everybody, in the Dr. No novel, Bond faces off against a giant squid. Bond v giant squid versus invisible car and Robocop suit. Which one is more believable to you, everybody? But despite whether you're a person who doesn't like Die Another Day or you do love Die Another Day, me personally, it has a really soft spot in my heart, everybody. Die Another Day was the very first James Bond film I saw in the cinema, and I have a bit of a soft spot for it. For me, Die Another Day is the utter guilty pleasure James Bond film. I can just admit it's so bad it's good. I can shut off my brain and just watch it and enjoy it for all the stupidness it is. But I can't deny, everybody, I think within the structure and the bare bones of Die Another Day, I think there really is a great movie in here somewhere. So, like how I did with my version of Diamonds Are Forever and Quantum of Solace, I've decided now's the time to look into my own version of Die Another Day, everybody. So I just want to set the parameters of what actually this is. The bare bone structure and is going to be there of Die Another Day, everybody. You're going to have things like Icarus, you're going to have Korea, Cuba, you're going to have Gustav Graves and Zao and Jinx, you're going to have the Ice Power stuff like that is going to be in this film. It is going to be very much Die Another Day, but it's going to be my version of Die Another Day, everybody. This is how I think I could have made Die Another Day a better story, everybody. For those of you who don't already know, one of the companies I head up the marketing for is Brew, the gourmet tea subscription club. Brew is an award-winning gourmet tea subscription where our boxes are unique to every individual each month, as our subscribers will get a unique box each time based on their own chosen preferences. Along with this, they get a golden discover tea to try and a surprise from us every now and then, just to say thank you for being part of the Brew family, because we really do care. I'd also like it to be known here, we also have a complete vegan-friendly range for our customers to choose from, and we've also introduced a whole new range of new incredible things, such as a blend your own tea kit and chocolate bundle and mood teas, just literally launched right now, which is available to you. And I wanted to share with you this, and also to tell you, everybody, I am now part of the Brew affiliate program, as I have my own YouTube channel, and if you use the link down below to find Brew and decide to order anything from Brew, you will also be supporting this channel because I will receive a 15% commission on anyone who uses that affiliate link down below. So if you want to support my channel and you want to treat yourself and you're a really big fan of tea, why not consider getting Brew, the gourmet tea subscription club? With that being said, let's get back to the video. Right, everybody, with that out of the way, let's start into my version of Die Another Day. So everybody, as normal, we start off with the traditional 007 Die Another Day Gunbarell, and at this point, you know what I'm going to say. Duck! Okay, everybody, this film's been out for over 10 years now. If you don't know by now, you know to duck with the Die Another Day Gunbarell. So my film would start off very much, it would open up into a North Korean prison. We see a prisoner being dragged to an ice bucket and shoved his head into cold water with ice. Pulled up and we see it's Bond straight away and shoved right back in. We then get some more cuts of him being tortured in this place, with being beaten up, hot and cold, and scorpions. It's all there, everybody. You see Bond being stuck in it, like, why is he here? What's happened? I'm setting up a mystery of why Bond is stuck in a North Korean jail here, everybody. But this leads into, eventually, an incredible escape sequence from the prison, everybody, which doesn't actually work that well. It ends up, and we believe before the end of this pre-title sequence, that Bond has actually died in trying to escape from this prison, everybody. But only when they chuck his body out, akin to how they did with Octopussy, he suddenly gurts out, the music starts, you see Bond survive, and he's using this sort of, coffin as a boat to swim away, and goes into the title sequence for Die Another Day. After the pre-title sequence, we cut to MI6, where Tanner is briefing M and Moneypenny and Robinson that there has been recently a massive escape in a North Korean prison of this one prisoner. They also now starting to believe it might be James Bond. They believe at this point Bond has been dead. And in this point of the film, we find out that the reason Bond was in this prison was he was chasing and hunting a North Korean terrorist called Zao. We don't know what happened between Bond and Zao, but it was assumed that both had died in action. Bond had completed his mission, but had died and perished, and Zao was also killed. It now turns out that Bond must have been captured and then placed in this North Korean prison. After this, we cut to South Korea, which we follow the film quite closely with Bond escaping from the water, going into the hotel, my usual suite please, and then meeting up with the South Korean Secret Service, who obviously was the hotel manager. Here he asked if he can connect him with Zao's base of operations somewhere in the world. Everyone's like going, but Zao is dead. He goes, yes, but there's something I need to check. There's something I need to check here. After this, we find out that, again, Bond is being sent to Cuba, where they heard that Mr. Zao had a home there. If you would see him, please send him our biggest regards, even though we believe he's dead. We then cut to Cuba, everybody. Now, at this point in the film, Bond obviously met a Cuban agent here who was a bit of an ally for him, but I'm going to change this right here, everybody, right here now. When Bond gets to Cuba, he actually gets intercepted by the CIA, and it's none other than our good friend Felix Leiter, everybody. Yes, I'm bringing Felix Leiter back into the series, okay? He's semi-retired and helping the US Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, just keep up to tabs on things while down in Cuba, while enjoying a bit of semi-retirement. At this point, I'd like to say he has obviously a half prosthetic leg because of the events of License to Kill. Bond and Felix just embrace each other. It's great to see old friends again. And then he gets invited to his house for a meal. At this point, there's a bit of reminiscence about License to Kill, where Felix says things like, I never did properly thank you for that, didn't I? And he goes, and you'll never have to. You can really see their bond and friendship there, everybody. At this point, Bond tells Felix about everything about hunting down Zao, how he killed Zao, how then he unfortunately got captured, his escape from the North Korean prison, which at this point, Felix says, I do know of a place where if Zao had a base of operations, this would be the ideal place in Cuba, Double-O-Geauss, where it's an island, a private island owned. Bond decides that he needs to go investigate here, and Felix takes him down to the area with him to help with his investigation. I'd also like to add at this point, like in the film, this is where we also meet Jinx. Magnificent view! It is, isn't it, isn't it? So afterwards, the film carries on a bit like normal. Bond and Jinx have a bit of a flirtation, have sex, and the next day, Bond investigates the island, everybody, in the early parts of the morning. When we get there, he discovers that the complex is still active and still going, but they're shipping everything away. They're getting everything ready to move to somewhere else, but Bond hasn't got a clue quite yet. With further investigation, he realises it's being all shipped to Iceland. After that, Bond discovers, and there's a big sequence involving, you guessed it, the hovercrafts, everybody. Yes, this is where I'm going to put the hovercraft sequence in the movie. Bond running around on a hovercraft, killing people, trying to escape from people in the island. It's going to be an incredible sequence, everybody. Literally, just boodles of fun. At this point, Jinx arrives and saves Bond just at the last moment, where she reveals that she's an NSA agent on loan to MI6, and she's bringing Bond in. Bond is now back in MI6 in a holding cell, waiting for the MI6 regulars to come in and talk to him. Basically ask him in a nutshell, where have you been since you've escaped? What the hell happened in your mission? Why has it taken you so long? We have now flashbacks of here explaining that he actually had captured Zao, he was interrogating him, he spoke of something called Operation Icarus that will continue long after he's dead. He ends up, what he believes, killing Zao, but being captured and labelled a terrorist and tortured and interrogated, but he gives nothing away, everybody. Bond basically says to the MI6 agent, my mission's not over, I need to find out what this Operation Icarus is, and I'm just carrying on my mission. There's a bit of a sort of hesitancy. Do we trust Bond? Do we not trust Bond? He's been in that prison for a long time. Is he working as a double agent? Em, as always, decides, of course I'm going to trust him. And she says, congratulations, Bond, you're back in MI6. Which responded like the Daniel Craig line, I never left. Obviously, she now basically says that you'll be working with Agent Jinx. She'll make sure that everything works smoothly. Or if you do turn out to be a rogue agent, she can shoot you in the back of the head, basically. You know, that sort of relationship building. Okay? She's decided that both of them are going to go to Iceland to follow this complex of Zao's operations and going to look into it herself. At this point, We also find out the shipment is being sent to the Graves International Corporation in Iceland, led by obviously Gustav Graves, everybody. We know we already have a suspicion of Gustav Graves because M reveals that we already have an agent inside who's investigating him for potential smuggling. A bit akin, if you will, to the Goldfinger thing about how an agent, Bond was there to try and show how Goldfinger was smuggling. Same thing a bit of happening here. So you're going to meet up with our agent there and work together and discover what the connection is between Gustav Graves and Zao. At this point as well, everybody, we've got the John Cleese Q scene where Bond not only fits out Bond, but he also fits out Jinx as well. We get shown the Aston Martin V12 Vanquish, and by the way, everybody, it does not turn invisible. I am taking the invisible car out of the movie, everybody. It doesn't exist anymore. So we now cut to Iceland, everybody, just like in the film. Bond driving to the Ice Palace in Iceland. Obviously this time Jinx would be with him as well. They're posing as a set of reporters to look at the launch of the venture of Gustav Graves' latest thing, everybody. At this point we also meet Miranda Faust, the MI6 person that M talked about, and she introduces them to Gustav Graves, obviously still played by Toby Stephens. They still have the sort of similar banter thing that they had in the movie, which is really, really great. Bond gets shown to his room, Jinx gets shown to her room, then they meet up at the party again, having that, magnificent view line again, and all that stuff, looking around, seeing things. They meet up with Miranda, and they all together walk to the press conference. Okay, so we're at the press conference here, everybody, and this is at this point where Gustav Graves announces his new satellite technology that will help stop the world ever having anyone starving again, helping to end world hunger, helping even potential stop global warming. It is, of course, everybody, Project Icarus. Yes, that whole thing about using reflective things like a diamond in the sky to help solve the world energy crisis, everybody. That all went go there, that's all going on. Then the film carries on as it does, Bond investigating a little bit, and then getting stopped by Miranda Frost. They do the kissing whole sequence, and then, of course, Bond ends up going to bed. Meanwhile, Jinx decides to do her own investigations, okay? And the film carries on as normal. We get Jinx captured, put on the bed of lasers, but this time it's Miranda Frost who is doing the lasering. Bond intercepts just in the nick of time, but they both get captured and sent up to Gustav Graves. At this point, everybody, we have a bit of a reference here to Live and Let Die. When Gustav Graves comes up, he knows who Bond is, guesses who Jinx is, and then he starts taking off a rubber mask off his face like Mr. Big and Dr. Kananga to reveal that Gustav Graves all along was Zao. He had escaped Bond's thought him from killing, and he has set up Project Icarus, as you always said, and he tells us all about his plan of how he wants to destroy South Korea and turn Korea purely into a North Korean state, and eventually the rest of the world will be under the control of him, the new leader of North Korea, then the rest of the world. Bond has a quote saying, when the whole mask comes off, so you live to die another day, Zao. Okay? And of course then it carries on to Bond escaping, Miranda Frost trying to follow, Jinx still gets captured for the moment and not being able to escape. This will then lead into the Aston Martin versus Jaguar chase with the gadgets and stuff. But what I want to end this thing on is actually Miranda Frost believes that she has actually killed Bond in the Aston Martin. Bond is actually hiding after a great sort of car chase sequence on the ice, everybody. Now, following that, obviously, Jinx is left to die in the Ice Palace where Icarus is, beams down on it and the Ice Palace is melting. She's been designed and basically stripped down a bit enough so she will freeze even quicker. But obviously Bond goes in, saves the day, everybody, saves her, and then obviously that's really the end of this part of the film. Okay, we now travel to the section we know in the film, which is in South Korea. At this point, Felix joins the rest of the intel, and they discuss the whole plans of Icarus and what it's going to plan to do. Everyone's in agreement there must be a joint operation to stop this before anything gets worse. Bond and Jinx sneak on the plane, take control of the pilots of the plane, and set a collision course so the plane will get destroyed. That all sort of stuff happens like it does in the movie. But at this point, they're discovered by Frost, and then taken to Zao. Zao then obviously has that whole section underway. It used to be Gustav Graves in the robosuit. That's gone now. It's just like a massive mobile computer desk controlling Icarus, everybody. They have a bit of a banter sequence, which then ends up being a fight sequence. Bond versus Zao, and Miranda Frost versus Jinx. They all roughly play out the same way they did in the movie, everybody. You know, time to face gravity, read this, bitch, you know, all that stuff. But now this is where I'm going to really change stuff now for the ending, everybody. You know, the plane is now on a collision course. It's going down, down, down. Bond has to escape. There are no vehicles in this plane, no helicopter, okay? They are literally, they're going down there. They need to find a parachute. They're against the clock now. The plane is going down. They need to find a parachute. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Are they going to find a parachute, everybody? Suddenly, this plane's going down. You see a parachute come up. And you know it's one parachute. And it's got Bond and Jinx on it, everybody. They escape. The plane is destroyed. Icarus is destroyed as well. And you think that is the end of the movie. And then, of course, just in great traditional Bond fashion, they're trying to search for Bond, Commander Bond, and Agent Jinx. They're searching around. They're still having Shnu Shnu in the parachute. At this point, he says the famous line again from Goldfinger, "This is no time to be rescued." End of the film. So yeah, everybody, that's really my thoughts and about and ideas of how we do Die Another Day. Obviously, it is a bit different, everybody. It has its pros. I think it has its cons. I've tried to basically make a more streamlined, more hardcore version of Die Another Day. But I think my idea is a pretty good idea. But I want to know, what do you think about my idea? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think it's different enough? It needs to be completely different or needs to be more similar? I want to know. Comment down below. Tell me what you think about Die Another Day in general and my idea. And as always, everybody, my name's Henry Stephens. I'm the Bond Geek. Goodbye.